Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 83 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on my writing. And I am once again wondering what I was thinking when I started this process. I I have mentioned in multiple videos before that I don't like to cry. I don't like to deal with my emotions and my feelings, and I have quite a lot of them actually, and they just don't go away. Um, there's a point for that because I have learned how to survive, basically, how to just function on the bare minimum, if that. And I have learned how to daydream to escape from my life, from reality. Even when reality isn't bad, I don't seem to know how to live in the moment or in reality because I've spent so much of it, my life, running away from it. Um, and in the process of writing my stories, my books, my story ideas, it's the process of having to let go of my stories, of my fantasy world. It's also the process of, um, I guess, re entering reality. Kind of sounds weird, but I think it kind of, I know my daydreams aren't real, but I can get totally caught up in them and in the conversations, and I can cry and get emotional and do all of those things because the characters in my head are doing them. And I get kind of embarrassed if I realize that I'm in a group of people and they're like, "What's going on? You're making faces." And I'm like, "Nothing, just thinking about stuff, just making up stuff in my head." Not realizing, because I'm off in my own little world and not paying attention to what's going on. Um, it's my safe place, and um, it's hard to let go of that because I've been doing that most of my life for probably as long as I can remember, uh, in one form or another. And so it gets to a point where I'm like, I start writing my stories, I get really far into them, I get really close to finishing them, and I stop because I'm too close to publishing them. I'm too close to finishing them. I'm too close to sharing all of my personal space, my personal things, and it freaks me out. So um, I I avoid it, and because I've set myself up on this 100 days of writing, it's kind of forced me to have to do some writing. And it's also given me the opportunity to be creative with poems and other things because I want to do my writing without actually doing my writing. So I'm having this internal conflict that's going on where I I have been blessed to know that I can write, that I have all these great story ideas. Um, I have all this potential that's just sitting there waiting for me to share. And I have people that are willing to support me and help me through this process, which is amazing and awesome. And I'm grateful for all of these things. And then I have this part of me that's like super excited and can't wait to like show people my book when it's published. And I can't wait to become a published author. And I just get so giddy and excited. And I'm like, yes, I could totally do this. And then I have this other part of me that's been there like forever that's like embarrassed, ashamed, afraid, doesn't want to share all of this with the world. What's the outcome going to be? What's going to happen? That it's going to be a total failure. It's total opposite. And I have these two totally opposite parts of me that are just fighting for center stage for me to decide which one I'm going to listen to today. And a lot of times I just choose to avoid the conflict entirely. So I just avoid thinking about it. I just avoid doing it so I don't have to deal with it. So I will stay up. I will deprive myself of sleep or of food or of other things to play games or watch TV or spend extra time at work or whatever it is to avoid having to sort out my feelings, to avoid picking sides, to avoid finishing whatever it is. And I have set myself on this path where I am making it much harder for myself to avoid things, where I kind of have to face things. So tonight, I'm still being I don't want to say lazy. I'm still hesitant about my writing a little bit. I know the things that I need to work on, and I know they're good things, and I know I'm just hesitant, as I mentioned. So instead, I I kind of did a mini timeline, I guess. I was gonna show you my funky picture, but I got out my pen and my clipboard with paper, and I just started doodling because I couldn't seem to get myself to write. And then I wrote in my journal, and then I said a prayer, and then I did a little bit of writing, and then I did a little bit more praying, and I basically did like a little timeline with one of my stories and just kind of like these are the events that are going to occur up to this point, and I kind of filled up a couple of pages. And I think I already sort of did that. Like I wrote up chapter headings for it in my laptop, but I haven't actually written the whole story out, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. Um, so yes, and I play with my hair when I'm nervous or when it just looks funky in the video. Easily distracted. I apologize if I'm distracting you with it too. Can't decide what to do with it right now. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I mean, I know I've written some of this before, and I keep picking different things to work on so that I don't have to, I guess, finish things. Um, and then I was writing in my journal about my struggle and feeling like I'm stuck again, kind of like I'm in a holding pattern, like a plane when they're stuck in one of those holding patterns because it's not safe to land, so they have to keep flying around in circles. And somehow I feel like I keep flying around in circles, and I'm like, okay, cool, I can see the landing spot. We're going to land. This is going to work. I'm going to get my book published. I'm going to finish my book. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Excuse me. Allergies and or from crying. I'm sorry. I was crying earlier tonight. Anyway, holding pattern, seeing the landing, knowing where I want to go, being excited to get there, and then going around the airport again. And I'm like, why am I doing this again? I just want to land. I just want to succeed. I just want to finish. I just want to do this. And that other part of me is just really stubborn. And I just have a hard time letting go. So tonight I looked at an Al-Anon book. It's about grief and grieving, and I did a little bit of reading on that, and that's why I did a little bit of crying. And when I got to the part where I was crying, I was like, okay, this is where I need to start writing. So I started writing, and then I started crying, and then I decided I was done because I don't like crying, but I know I need to do this. It's something that I have been praying for, and when I'm like crying and just not wanting to, I just can hear that voice in me like God saying, "You asked for this," and I'm like, "I know, but I don't want to do it." But I do want to do it because I do want to let go. I do want to see what's on the other side. I do want to be happy. I want to be free. I don't want to keep reliving the pain. I don't want to keep staring at it. I don't want it to keep being my excuse for not finishing what I've started. I want to be able to live my life. I want to stop being disappointed over the little things. I don't want everything to turn into some ginormous, I don't know. Because to me, it's like, oh, I just didn't make a mistake. It's like I failed. And not just to fail, it's like I epically failed. It's over. It's done. And because of these videos, I can see that it's not an epic failure. It's not over. It's not done. I can continue going. And as long as I can find something to write every day, I have something to share in my video, and that I am still succeeding. Maybe not quite the way that I anticipated, maybe not getting as far through my books as I thought I was going to, because as much as I would like to, I cannot force myself to barrel my way through this. I cannot force myself to face my fears and my emotions. I have to do it one day at a time. And some days I am gung-ho and I'm there and I'm all ready for it, and other days I struggle with it. And I can see the things that work and I can see the things that don't. And on the days that I do the things that work, I do better. And on the days that I don't, I don't. But I know it's a process, And I know that God is helping me through this process. And I know that change is happening in me and in my life. It's just happening more slowly than I would like. And I still have that, maybe it's my generational thing, I don't know, where it's like, I want that instant gratification. I want to instantly feel better. Um, I don't want to go through the process. And I mean, I've heard that saying before, if I could just take your pain away, I would. And it's like, but you shouldn't, because if you take it away, then I don't learn from it. I don't learn how to feel. I don't learn how to deal with it. I don't learn how to grieve. And I haven't learned how to do those things. I've learned how to hold on to everything, hold on to every relationship, hold on to every memory, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, just holding on for dear life. And I don't know how to let it go. And I can see that it's holding me back, and I can see that I'm hurting myself by it, and it's not hurting any other people that hurt me, because they don't even care. They're gone. And I'm still stuck. I'm still grieving. I'm still holding on to all of this. And as I was writing, I kind of realized that I have this weird fear. I don't think it's real. What is that? Fear is false evidence appearing real. But it's the struggle of getting to know myself and figuring out who I am. And I'm learning a lot about who I am and myself and things like that. But I think part of my struggle is that if I let go of all of these things, I feel like they've become a part of me, a part of who I am, even though I know they're not who I am. They're just experiences that I've had, and they're just emotions that are holding me back. But there's that fear of repeating my past, which I don't want to do again. So putting up walls to try to protect myself, which is only hurting myself, which is odd, but that's how it works. I don't really know how to explain that other than it's like, okay, if I shut out the rest of the world, I'm shutting out the opportunity to be loved. I'm shutting out the opportunity to be helped, to see myself clearly, to have relationships with other people. By focusing so much on the ones that didn't work, I can't see the ones that have worked or that are working, or the possibility that something in the future will work. So I can't, if I get so caught up in that, holding on to that negative, or putting up a wall to prevent myself from getting hurt, I'm also preventing myself from getting loved. So I'm preventing myself from having everything that I'm craving, everything that I want in my life, because I'm afraid of getting hurt again. And so it's like, the only way to get what I want is to take the risk, to take down the wall, to move forward. But that my past experiences keep telling me that this is not a good idea, taking down this wall and being vulnerable and doing this is scary, it's bad. And the emotions have become such a part of me because I don't know what to do with them or how to let go of them. And so it's the realization that they're all stuck in this wall that's hurting me, and I need to take it down. And it's kind of scary, and it's hard. And some days I'm like, I can peek through it and I can see where I'm at, I can see where I'm going, and I'm like, this is awesome. This is totally worth it. This is totally where I want to go, and I'm totally excited. And then I have several days, I think right now, I've just been really struggling, and I can't see where I'm going. All I feel is the old emotion, and I know it's old emotion. I know it's not new. It's not something currently going on in my life. It's the old stuff that I brought up, and I brought it up by choosing to write about my stories. I brought it up by choosing to write about my past. I brought it up, and now I'm like, oh crap, what do I do with it? And I've always just held on to it. I've always just buried it. And now it's up, and it's like staring me in the face, and I'm like, I have to deal with this. And I am torn between, I just want to bury it and I just want to get rid of it. And then there's the other part of me that's like, I've had this for so long that it's a part of who I am. And I've worked so hard to figure out who I am and to find myself and to find my purpose, that if I let go of this, am I going to get lost in myself again? Am I going to lose who I am? And even though I'm pretty sure I'm not, And I say, pretty sure I'm not. I don't think that I will, actually. I think it will help me to feel lighter and freer. But it's that change, it's that transition, it's that it feels so different from what I'm so used to. The constant weight versus the it not being there, like feeling light and fancy free, like I can do whatever I want to. Look at me, and and I like that I'm fancy free. Look at me, I can do whatever I want to. But I'm so used to this weight on my shoulders that I think sometimes I just pull it back down again. Like I just, it's oddly comforting because it's familiar, not because it's healthy. And it's the walls that are meant to protect me, but it's also the walls that are preventing me from moving forward and experiencing my life, from being fancy free. So I am, like I said, set things in motion by doing my writing and brought all these things to the surface. So I am in the process of having to convince myself and that I can go through this, that I can do this. And it makes me very grateful for the atonement, very grateful for my Savior that understands how I'm feeling, very grateful for friends, for family, for 12-step programs to help me figure out how to process, how to let go, how to feel safe in this process, to know that it's okay, that I can do this, and that I'm not going to get lost. God, I hope I'm not going to get lost. That maybe I might actually find more of myself and more things about me that I love, and realize that once again, I am making things ginormous, epic, huge, beyond overwhelming. And as I go through all of this, it's like, okay, tiny little baby steps, little chunks here, little chunks there. And the next thing you know, I'm like, what am I, day 83 or something of these videos? 82, 83. I'm like, how did I get this far into my writing? Like, it's crazy. My 100 days is almost up, and it's so doable, just like my 100 days of gratitude. So it's whatever I'm willing to put my mind to, whatever I'm willing to work on, it becomes doable with God's help. It's there, it's possible. And the big, ginormous thing suddenly becomes so much smaller and so much more easy to manage. And sometimes it just becomes ridiculous. Like, I can't believe I've been avoiding this for so long. Like, seriously, why? It's not even scary. And so I get to learn to laugh at myself and the things that I've held on to. I get to cry and let go and be free, which is a good thing. I know these are good things, and I'm grateful for it. But I'm torn between I'm excited for it and I'm scared, very scared of the process. So I'm like, I'm excited for the outcome when I'm all done. I'm just scared of the process, the in between, because I don't think I've ever let myself fully go through the whole process. I think I start and then I stop, and then I start over, and I get as far as I've been before, and then I'm like, and maybe I'll get a little bit further, and then I'm like, and I'm stopping, not doing this anymore, and then I'm like, okay, I could do this, and then I start over. Because I start with what's familiar. I start with what I know I can do. And one of these days, I keep telling myself, I'm going to get to the end. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to see what's there. So I hope one of these days I actually do. I think that I will, because I think every time I start over, I get a little bit further before I fall apart again. And I don't wait as long before I start over. And sometimes I don't really need to start over. I can just pick up where I left off because I haven't been stopped for that long. So I can just keep going. But I didn't realize how good I am at stopping my momentum, because I feel like I get this momentum and I'm going and I'm going and I'm going, and then I am really good at just slamming on those brakes. So I need to break my brakes. That would be good. So that I can't stop. That would be nice. I know it doesn't work that way, and things happen for a reason. There's a timing for everything, and again, I know that I can't force myself, so I have to let myself be ready. And while I'm waiting to be ready, there's other things that I can do that help me to move along in this process. And I know that God keeps opening up new avenues and friendships and things to help me so that I am more willing to do this. And I'm grateful for prayer because it helps motivate me to do things I don't want to do. And I'm grateful I have these videos set up because if it weren't for that and commitments that I made to other people, and I would make excuses and not follow through. So I am grateful for things like this to help me be consistent. And maybe it's not what I thought I was going to do for my writing. Maybe it's not what you thought I was going to end up doing when you're watching these videos, but it's what I can get myself to do. And I'm grateful for what I'm getting myself to do and focusing on what I'm doing instead of beating myself up for not being able to do what I thought I could. And I can do my writing. I can get through my books. I know that. But in order for me to do that, I have to deal with all of my emotions in the process. And I'm bringing up a lot of emotions with me while I do all of this writing. And I have not learned how to process my emotions. So this is a learning process for me to let myself cry, to let myself write about it, to share it with other people, and to realize that I'm like, it's not going to kill me. I'm not going to die. And that I actually feel better when I'm all done. And it's like, okay, well, if I feel better about this little one, then maybe I can feel better about this one and this one. And I don't know how many layers, I don't know how much stuff, but I know the more I write, and I have tons of things to write, the more things are going to come up. But the more things that come up, the more things I can take a step back and look at, I can process, and I can heal from. And I don't have to do it all at once. I can do it one little chunk at a time. And each little chunk is just going to disappear and evaporate. And the next thing you know, my big giant mountain that's so overwhelming and crushing me with its weight is suddenly gone, and I feel light as a feather until I find the next one. We're talking about the next one though. I'm not ready for that. And I'm not saying I feel light as a feather right now either, but I feel like I can take things one chunk at a time, and one little stone at a time I can get rid of one at a time, because I think that's how I picked him up in the first place, how I built my mountain, so that's how I'm going to take it down. Or that's how I built my wall, so that's how I'm going to take it down. And yes, I'm still probably going to have days where I'm frustrated that I still have too much of a wall, and I'm like, why is this taking so dang long to get rid of? But then I have to remind myself is how long I've spent putting it up. And I'm not even going to go on to how many years I've spent putting it up. So it's not going to come down in just a couple of days as much as I would like it to. But I know it's coming down, and I know I'm getting better, and I am grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I can see the progress and the positive side of things, and that I can still get myself to write something, even if it's not what I thought I was going to do or how I thought I was going to do it. But at least I'm still doing it. So I am grateful for that. And I am going to end with that because I don't think I have anything else to say tonight. And because I keep messing with my hair. So, which is probably bugging me way more than you. Anyway, I hope you have a great day full of gratitude. And if you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I think that's it. Have a great day. Gratitude, I said that already, but then I'm thinking and maybe do some writing if you feel up to it. Thank you.